Hi, welcome to Just Live a Little. I'm Mike and today we're going to review the BSA Bantam 350. I can't wait. For those of you that have watched my channel in the past, I've done about 13,000 miles on a single cylinder 400cc motorcycle, the Herald Classic 400. So I'm in pretty good position to sort of review that bike against the Herald Classic 400. Now, straight off the bat, I mean, I've spent a fortune on my Herald, changing it from standard, if you like, and upgrading the look quite a bit. However, straight out of factory, I can tell you that this bike looks brilliant. Its quality seems to be there, and the price, wait for it, is only £3,499 plus on the road, which is another £200, I believe. So the engine, it's a 4-stroke single cylinder liquid cooled spark ignition double overhead cam. There's 334 cc's. It puts out 29 brake horsepower at 7,750 RPM. It's got a 6-speed transmission gearbox with a standard chain drive. Suspension at the front is telescopic. Hydraulic forks, 135mm stroke, and the rear twin shock absorbers with a 5-step adjustable with 100mm of wheel travel. It weighs 185 kilograms. The front tyres are 100 by 90 by 18 inches. And the rear is a 150/70/17, so it's a 17, and they're alloy wheels, so they're running on tubeless tyres. The fuel tank, beautiful fuel tank that it is a 13-litre fuel tank. There are no figures out for the mile per gallon as yet, but I would imagine you'll probably get about 200 miles out of a tank. The wheelbase is 1,440mm and the seat height is 800mm. Now the rake on the front, this is the big deal if you know what you're talking about here, is 29 degrees. Now, as I said, I'm reviewing this against the Herald Classic 400. I don't know what the rake is on that. If I can, I'll put that above. But I can tell you now that this bike is far more stable at speed than the Herald Classic 400. So the brakes, on the front you've got a 320mm or diameter floating type caliper, okay, and they are Byberry, so I can confirm that these brakes are fantastic, and that is with ABS. And the rear is a 240mm floating caliper, also with ABS, single pot Byberry caliper on there though. So it's a floating caliper, single pot on the rear, double on the front, Byberry, both running with ABS. So let's get on this bike and see what it's like on the road. So I'm 5'10", with a 31-inch inside leg, and this does sit slightly higher than my Classic 400, but it's still very doable. But I do think even if you're 6 foot plus, this bike could be perfect for you. So this is the beautiful Orford. Let's have a little drive around. Very smooth, very light gearbox. Now Freddie Dobbs, Pump Street Bakery. He's done a little video here before in Orford. Lovely bit of Suffolk countryside to ride around and test this new BSA Bantam 350. So the liquid cooled engine pushing out 29 brake horsepower with 29 Nm of torque. So that's about 7,700 RPM. Now, the clutch is incredibly light, and we're sitting at 20 miles an hour here in third gear, and it's incredibly smooth. It's not twitchy, it's not hunting the way my Herald does. Very smooth. This does have a 6-speed transmission, whereas my Herald's only got 5. Let's go down to the seafront and turn around. Go. Lovely to see the Union Jack flying. It's very good at handling slow speed, incredibly light clutch. It is a big step up from the classic 400 that I ride, the Herald. Like I say, this does have 6 gears. My classic 400 only has 5. And at this speed, it would be the fueling's not quite as good. This is incredibly smooth. I'm in second at the moment at 18 miles an hour. Up into third. Yeah, very nice. Very nice place to be. The handlebars are nice and low and wide. I am sat in a perfect position. I had to change mine quite a bit on the classic 400. I've got flat handlebars like this, wide handlebars. I do have bar end mirrors on the 400, which is much better than the Mickey Mouse sort of mirrors that we've got on here. I will tell you at speed, these do vibrate. So you do have a little bit of distortion in the mirrors. With bar end mirrors, I don't tend to get that on my classic 400. They're crystal clear, even at high speed. But that's to everybody's, to individual tastes. I think I would change that, put bar end mirrors, a nice quality pair of bar end mirrors on this. But having had a very good look around the bike, I am telling you now that for £3,500, there's no way you're going to match that with any other bike that we've got on the road. It is definitely a buyer's market at the moment. I know that Royal Enfield seem to have, whether it's a reaction to BSA releasing this, they've reduced the price of their older stock motorcycles drastically, but still you will not find another brand new motorcycle with this sort of quality at this price range. Now, I have ridden a few miles on this already. I have done a bit of motorway riding, and I can tell you that it'll easily sit at 70 miles an hour on the motorway, and obviously I didn't try it, but I'm sure it would go in excess of 80 miles an hour top end. With the 6-speed transmission, it's very, very smooth at that speed, very well balanced. In comparison to the classic 400, my Herald, yeah, this is leaps and bounds ahead of that. Now, I do have a black, quite a dark tinted visor on, because it is a bright, very warm and sunny day today. And I've got the sun directly behind me, and I don't know if you can make that out, but it's next to impossible to read the speed that I'm doing. Yeah, 43 miles an hour. Yeah. but that's the first time today where I've struggled to see it. But I am literally, I've got the glare of the sun directly behind me on the dash. Now on the dash there, at the top, in the middle, we've got the speed. I'm currently doing 29 miles an hour. Directly below that, we've got the odometer, which currently is reading 375.6 miles. And underneath that, you've got a fuel gauge, and beneath that, you've got the clock. And it's now 10 minutes past 1, so I should definitely be making my way back. I do want to do a little bit more filming, so if we can find somewhere suitable, I'll do that before we get back. And I'd like to see how it handles around the twisties on the back roads, and let you know how that goes. Around the outside of the pinnacle there, you can see the rev counter as well. As I say, that is the one thing that I would say lets the bike down slightly. I think I would have preferred analog dials, but you know, everything you need to see is in that single dial, which is placed bang in the middle, which I do like. Yeah, it's got more than enough torque on these back roads. The suspension is firm, but not uncomfortable. You can definitely feel the wheels are planted on the ground far more than the Classic 400 that I've got. So handling is definitely up on that. Yeah, it gets to 60 very easily. I can confirm that the bike is incredibly stable at speed. That 29-degree rake on the front wheel is very good, and again, it's superior to what I'm used to. Let's test the brakes. Nothing behind me. Whoa! Yeah. The brakes are fantastic. I can't fault these brakes. And in the shade in the trees, the dash is crystal clear. So the seating position, flat bar's quite wide. I am sat with a perfectly straight back, and my hands are just over shoulder part, and it feels very comfortable. Very similar position to my personal bike, but I have had to change it quite a bit to get it into that position. So stock, straight out of the factory, this is a very good riding position. The handling is far superior to my bike. And the 29 horsepower, more than enough. Yeah. It's an incredible bike for the money. incredible. Nice little bit of pop in, typical single cylinder as you're backing off on the throttle. So to go over that again, I would say it is quite a firm ride. You do feel the bumps, but it's not particularly uncomfortable, and it does handle really well. So yeah, all good there. So what else? This bike comes with a 3-year warranty. Now, £3,500, 3-year warranty, and there is really not much to dislike about this bike. It's a little piece of quality. Brakes, more than adequate. Power, great. Top speed, I would say, yeah, probably do 80, but probably go a little bit beyond. This isn't running yet, this bike, but it does have almost 390 miles on it. So I would say, yeah, top end. It will sit quite happy at 70 miles an hour all day long. Far better than my little Herald, I'm sure. There is a bolt hole for a centre stand on this motorcycle. Now, apparently, BSA UK have said that there is no intention, or there is no centre stand for this bike. However, I think you should just wait out on that one. There'll be either an aftermarket one, or I'm sure BSA will end up bringing that out. If there's a position for a centre stand to go in, it's not going to be long before someone brings one out. And I'm so used to not having a centre stand that it really doesn't bother me. And like I say, most of the expensive bikes will come standard without centre stand. You have to pay extra to get it fitted. So see where that comes from. See where that goes. The rear pillion, there is no grab handle for the rear pillion on this. There is, however, the strap just directly behind me there. The lean angle on this, I already know I can get this over far more than I can my little classic 400. The ground clearance, there is more. So I have had a couple of instances when I've perhaps been a little bit too fast coming into a roundabout, and my side stand on a left-hand bend has definitely touched the tarmac, shall we say. This, no such problem. Well, nothing I've noticed today. It feels like it could handle a much more sporting bend. So at sort of 60 miles an hour, you do feel a little bit of vibration through the foot pegs. But not as much as I do with my classic 400, and for a single cylinder it's incredibly smooth. So yeah, I'm very impressed with that. This is the sort of road this bike is meant to be on. It's lovely. So that's it. I've probably done close to 100 miles today on this BSA Bantam 350, and it's an outstanding little bike. It really is. There's not a lot I can say bad about it. The seat is very firm. There is no grab handle on the back. Apparently there is something coming regarding back carrier for it. The front mudguard, if I was being really picky, I would put an extender on there. But other than that, I would highly recommend the beautiful BSA Bantam 350. And if you are in Ipswich, come along to Davy Bross Motorcycle in Ipswich, Suffolk, and he will set you up with a BSA Bantam 350. But I would say that the price apparently is a limited offer, so on release, so we'll see where that one goes. But currently £3,499 plus on the road costs. Fantastic. Thanks very much, Mark from Davy Bross, for allowing me to do a review of this bike. And the big question is, will I chop my classic 400 in for this BSA Bantam 350? And I'll be very honest, if I can afford it, I would do it. I would go for the black one with the Union Jack on the tank, but this blue and silver is also a very beautiful bike. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please give me a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because all I do is do a lot of miles on a classic single cylinder 400cc motorbike, and maybe I might end up doing it on this BSA Bantam 350. Thanks very much for watching.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.